Hello, how's everybody doing tonight? Oh, Elaine, you're muted.
Oh, I muted myself on purpose.
Well, how was your day today? Because I can tell you, I would just want to tell you about how my crazy day was.
My day was fantastic.
Okay. Mine was very excitingly crazy. I went to the Masonic Temple, the Durand Mansion, and I got a tour because I'm going to be a part of a paranormal conference in Racine.
That's exciting and creepy at the same time.
Because it's very haunted. Very haunted. And I grew up around haunted houses, so I find it really cool. But
that's exciting.
Yes.
I would not be doing that. I'm sorry. That's just not my cup of tea. I don't want to chase any damn ghosts or demons. I am straight. I am the person that would be running in the movies. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I won't take my brother or Joe to any more hauntings because I went to a haunted house with one of them and there was a chainsaw coming at us and Joe pushed me in the direction of the chainsaw and my brother tried to trip me. So
Oh yeah. I mean, it's all for self at that point. If someone's chasing after your ass with a chainsaw, I'm out of there.
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, tonight's subject is really exciting, and I'm hoping my exes don't follow me with like the ghosts that I encountered with today.
Well, I would love for
Because
all my exes to watch this show because I feel like I think that this is a good one, especially for relationship wise. So
yes,
I guess
yes.
let's introduce the guys and bring on
Well,
Renee. We have a
wait,
special co-host.
I was gonna say before we do that, let's introduce Renee because we have a special co-host that's going to be coming on for a little while because she is going to be doing starting up another podcast. She's already started up 2, and I think this is her 3rd one. So, hi Renee.
Hi.
Hi. So we're just introducing, telling the listeners about you're starting a podcast or you're revamping your podcast. Correct?
When I'm done with all the work in healthcare I've been doing, I had to put Real Talk on hold for a while. COVID happened in March, and at some point we're going to be talk again, of course.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're on. I know Renee and I are both very happy to have another guest on here to help us tell life as it is.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you guys so much.
And I am paying attention. I am just trying to share the podcast a little bit more because I wasn't able to do it.
No, that's okay. Renee, I like your shirt, girl.
Thank you. We are all human.
Yes. Well, let's bring on the guys because these are 2 gentlemen that are on TikTok, YouTube, and they have one. Mike has his own podcast. So let's bring them on and let's put them in the hot seat a little and talk about some situations.
So actually we're not even going to downgrade this. We'll call it what it is because all the kids say it to me all the time, right? Mike and Jefferson are TikTok famous, and they both have huge followings all over, whether it's Instagram, TikTok. I think Mike even has like a Facebook page that's got like a shit ton of people. So yeah, let's invite our TikTok celebrities, Mike Goldwire and Jefferson Dela Cruz. And no, we are not related. For everybody who knows. We got the same last name, y'all. Tell me that's not crazy.
I know. Hey, what's up, yeah?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hi guys, thank you for coming. We want to, appreciate that you're coming on and giving us your time. And I've watched all of your guys's TikToks and Facebook posts and whatnot. And I first want to start with a few questions because I really watch them. And first, I'm going to ask Mike. Could you please, because I'm a mom, not stream live while driving?
Yeah.
Mike, she gonna put you on spot like that, man.
Hey, she took you right.
It's okay. A lot of people tell me.
It was really, I put signs all over my all over my neighborhood that says drive like your children live here because they drive so past my house. And if somebody hits my kids because they're negligent, they won't need a trial. I'm telling you right now, I'm one of those moms. I'll take care of it. But when I see you, I really want to watch. It was so hard watching you, and you're like, "Oh, I'm just turning the corner." And I was like, "Oh no!" So please.
I can't say nothing, Mike, because every time she calls me, she's like, "Where are you?" And I have her on video chat, and I'm on the phone, and I'm driving, and she's like, "You're always in the car." And I'm like, so when she told me she was gonna come at you like that, I was like, I gotta take the back seat because I'm like,
I can't even say anything. I'd be doing the same thing, man.
Yeah, it's a habit. I gotta break it.
Healthcare provider.
Yes.
not believe how many people we see in severe accidents, texting, driving, and all that stuff.
Oh my God, you guys are horrible. Let me just tell you something. I definitely make fucking videos at the red light. Like this. Have you ever had the red light shining on you? It gives you like that good lighting at nighttime. Come on now.
Well, and that's my other question. I noticed a lot of your videos, Mike, they're in your car. Is it like your house? I mean, like, I know, like me, I go on my front porch and try and hide from my children. Is your house like really like loud where you just like, I'm gonna go to my car and maybe they won't find me?
Oh, well, I'm in my house right now.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering because they're in your car and like I get it. I totally get it because
I drive a lot.
oh,
But
okay.
Melissa just says that because she's a homebody. She don't leave for nothing, y'all. Like she gets her groceries delivered. She gets like everything. She never leaves the house. Like never. Like
No.
if I ever had to call somebody that I knew would be home for me to win $1 million, that would be Melissa. She never leaves.
That okay, maybe that might be a little bit
Well,
true.
if I can be honest, like the car, I don't know what it is because I be doing my videos in the car
peaceful.
too.
It's peaceful.
You know what
can
I
think
mean?
more.
Yeah. It
It's
just
just a
inspires
vibe.
you. I don't know what it is, but there is something about driving and get inspired in the meantime. It's crazy.
I mean, I get that because I do that too, and I like when I am in the car, she is correct, and it's only because of COVID, and because I have a shit ton of kids that I don't drive. I don't leave very often because then I got to bring them all, and that's a lot of work. So, but I do get inspired too, and that's why they have like the little voice messages that you can touch on your phone, and you're like, remind me at such and such time to write this down, and that's what I do.
It don't feel the same when you're speaking from the heart, though. So
It's not the
I
same.
agree. A lot of what I think it is
Preach that,
too is
bro.
like you
Yeah,
in the
gotta
car,
say
you
it,
got the
feel it.
music going, and then all of a sudden you get a thought, and it's like,
Okay,
shit, I
so
got to get this out right now. It's time to
Yeah,
get
let's
this
all
out.
agree. Let's all agree that we should pull over and get the message
Yeah.
done and then continue driving.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you.
Definitely.
Yes. Now,
Not me. You ain't mom and me, girl. I'm gonna do my damn videos at the stoplight, and that's just what it is.
stoplight, I'm fine with stoplight.
Renee,
It's when you're
you
turning a
don't have to do
corner
anything.
and
You'll
you
see
can
me.
hit a mom runner like me with her kid in the because I do run. I have my stroller on the front porch for Zeke. I just don't want to get hit because somebody's doing a message, and then I'm like, all you feel is that don't, and it's a lot because I'm a little chubby, but I
She's
don't want
stupid.
to.
Girl, you'll be fine. We got good reflexes. But let's move on to like let's see what's your next question, Melissa? Because you said you had like a few.
But
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
in the car,
What's up, Renee?
life's best decisions are made in the car, right?
Huh? I can't.
She
hear.
said life's best decisions are made in the car.
True.
Wherever they made
I believe it. I believe it.
I feel like I
Now-
make more decisions in the shower. Like I seriously like I
Those
think
are
in the
different
shower.
decisions, Elaine. Those are different decisions. So Jefferson, how
Yeah.
did you start TikToking and giving advice? And you look so young, but some of the things you say just like make sense. Like I sent one of your videos to one of my friends who's going through a really bad breakup, and he was like, I'm not listening to some 16-year-old kid. I was like, he's not 16 years old, number one, and he seems to have more going with relationships than you, so maybe you should listen.
Yeah, so it happens a lot. Trust me. Anywhere I go, I gotta provide an ID. Even when I go to the supermarket, it's just crazy to be honest. I'm actually 28 years old, believe it or not. I'm about to be 30 in 2 years. It hurts just to say it. It just hurts. It ain't the same. I might look young, but my back don't feel young. That's all I'm gonna say on that subject. But it's just life has a way of allowing you to experience pain. And then it is really up to you to turn that pain into either a lesson or something that will either downgrade you to the point where it leaves you down to the scums. To be honest, like I do think that experience has a lot to do with your life, longevity in this world, but it also has to do with your life, with the activities that you went through in life, whether you had a relationship or you went through a specific breakup or there's something specifically happened. And I understand it's very hard for you to listen to somebody when it has such a young face. But if you were to just give it a chance, you might just learn something. You might just catch something. If not, ask my TikTok community. I'd say that.
I do agree with that. And I mean, like, sometimes my 11-year-old makes more sense than a lot of people I know. So I don't think age has
But he's
definitely.
not 11 and he's
Wait,
not 16.
can
He's a
you let me
grown-ass
finish?
man. That's what he is saying.
I'm saying age doesn't, like, wisdom doesn't always come with age. You just happen, and you will be happy you look younger later. You know, when
So
you're
No, I
everybody
agree
says,
because
older.
I was
I'm
like
not
stupid as
feeling it
hell in
right
my
now.
20s. Like I was a dumbass. I swear, I don't even want to get into it, but I was stupid. But actually, I'm about to read this comment again because Miss Erica Oliver said, Mike looks nice in the car and at home. Shoot, he just looks nice. LOL. Okay, Erica.
I said thank you.
Shoot your
Hey,
shot,
Mike.
girl. Shoot your shot.
Now, Mike, how did you start getting into doing relationship advice? And I was informed that you also like counsel people with advice. Like what inspired you to say, because your messages are pretty much like, women, shut up, quit being so stupid and really do what's best for you.
I disagree because a lot of his shit tells men how to treat women, which is why I give Mike the utmost respect. I just have to say that because he breaks the G code. But those would be my questions. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think my videos tell women to shut up.
Okay. No, they don't. But in my terms of saying it, like, you're a little nicer when you give advice, I think, than when I do to some of my friends. I just pretty much tell them to suck it up. If you don't come for me for sympathy, I'm not one that's going to give it. But you, like, what brought you into telling, like, helping people, like, see the truth and seeing that, you know, it's you yourself that can make the change and no one else.
Well, I like talking to people to uplift themselves. So I feel like if you watch the videos, you will see that I'm trying to uplift people, like women, so they know that they're strong enough to not need a man. And if a man does come, that's extra. So like when I'm speaking to them, it's like I'm speaking to my sister, or I'm speaking to my nieces. It's like, you're beautiful. You don't need nobody to tell you that. So it's like when I'm so it's like I just put it on video now. So it's just like it just naturally came. I've been doing it for a while, but it just naturally came on TikTok, and it started going viral, and people started liking it. But I don't think I never made a video where I told people to like be quiet and just listen to this, because it's like people got reasons for why they hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all got different reasons, and I don't feel like nobody is stupid because they go through a situation. Like, all of us on this phone, we probably will look at somebody and say, hey, their situation is stupid, but somebody in this world can make us look stupid. So we can't really judge nobody. And I just want to make people know that they strong enough to not need nobody. You know what I'm saying? They strong enough to like survive by themselves. And when they love themselves correctly, the right person will come. So that's where the videos really come out. I don't know how it went that way, but I hope it
No,
goes.
That was her wording.
That is my
My
paraphrasing.
man,
I'm
Mike.
sorry. Bad paraphrasing, but that's just kind of the type of person I am, because I just
She's
That's
fucking
the way
mean.
she
We're just
processes
gonna
it.
call it what it
And
is.
her,
She's mean.
I
Okay,
can
let's
be
just
very
call it what it
mean.
is.
I don't have a lot of patience.
I do have a question though, right? Like, I really have to ask this question because I do feel like y'all mugs break the G code like on a daily, and I'm sure y'all get a lot of flack from men. Like, dude, like, okay, you can share these TikTok videos, right? So when a girl hears y'all talking, what's the first thing she does when she's got a messed up relationship? I'm sending this to my man. Like,
But I don't think it's breaking the G code. I think it's helping them in the long term. Like, men, they think short term, so they mess up in the beginning, and then when it hurts them in the end, they want to finally get right, and then they'll listen to the videos then when it's too late. I feel like if they just listen straight up, it'll just help them in the long term, because marriage is the goal, I feel, for most people. So it's just gonna
Okay.
it's gonna help.
Okay,
you
that was a
when
good
you get-
answer.
when
That
you
was
get
deep.
together.
Oh my God. That was like, I'm like, wow, okay. I'm okay. I get
Yeah,
it.
it'll
Hold
hit
on.
them when it need to
We
hit
need
'em.
applause. We need applause for that. What about you, Jefferson? How do you look at
I
Erica, girl? Hey,
I
we
I
all
back
single.
up.
Let me just ask this, Mike. We all single because we got some girls shooting they shot up on here. So
Go
Yeah.
ahead, man. I for me,
answer
Mike,
the
ain't
question.
nobody,
Are you
ain't no
guys
woman.
single or not?
Mike,
Single or
ain't no
not?
woman after me. I got the mamas after me saying, "Such a cute boy, such a cute little boy."
Oh
That
my
happens
God.
to me, man. It's not the same. But I guess I will second what he said. I think,
Yeah.
listen, when you go to TikTok and you look at whatever you like your numbers and whatnot, your metrics, it shows for me that I got an 89% of the community that follows me that are females. And if you look at my videos, they're not just pro females. I try to always a balance about unity. I'm a lot about there's a teamwork that you can bring in the relationship as long as both parties come into like mutual agreement. And I feel like that's the problem in a lot of relationships. There's no mutual agreement. Either one person is all in or the other person is all in. And then it turns into a lot of blaming. Like it's your side that is at fault, and then whether that's your side that is at fault. And then we fall into this like cycle and it turns into a very like unhealthy relationship. I think what you mean when you say breaking the G code is like what he was saying. What we are doing is we're bringing reality to bring men accountable to the reality of like what a woman really wants when it comes to a long-term relationship, not long distance, but long term. And a lot of men don't want the commitment. They want the benefits, but they don't want commitment. So when we bring it up, a lot of women are like, yes, 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 that's what we want. And a lot of men are like, well, you're not getting it. I'm not ready for that. And then basically I say it's more of accountability. I'm back at what he's saying.
All right, guys. Wow. This is
I
like
had
some intellectual conversation here.
one of my, okay, so I'm going to put a hypothetical. Where's the best place where you would would direct people that are looking to try and find love and trying to find the partner? Where would you tell them would be the best place to find them? Because I have a lot of friends that are a little bit older. They're not in their 20s anymore, and they've wanted to settle down for so long, but they just can't seem to find the right people.
Who you
Go
want to
ahead,
answer?
Mike.
Either one. Go, either one.
He can go
Go ahead,
first.
man. No,
I
go
feel,
ahead.
I
Okay,
feel like
Jefferson.
they gotta find out what they like to do, like with their self. Like it all comes from their self first. When they find out what they like to do, they can go hang out at those type of spots. Like maybe they like skating, maybe they like going to the club, maybe they like going to the bar. They find out what they like to do and what they enjoy doing, and it doesn't have to be, oh, I'm looking for love. It goes like, oh, I'm looking to have fun. And I feel like then you meet somebody, because I feel like everybody on here, we can't just pick a spot where we met somebody that we fell for. You know what I'm saying? It just happens. I think rare love just happens, and love is supposed to be rare. I feel like everybody just wants to fall in love with the first person because they don't want to put in the work. But I feel like a soulmate is rare. So you got to just get past the excuses and the examples, and then everything will come to play in the end, I think.
And do you think
Yeah.
when you're not looking, like you can't go looking, it comes to you when you are out doing? Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I want to answer that.
Yep.
That's if you allow
Okay.
me.
Yeah. Go ahead. No. Go
That
ahead,
is true.
Jefferson. Go ahead.
That is true. In my 28 years of life, I've been in various relationships, and the one that I'm at right now, it was without me looking for it. I've met her in the army, in the military, and that's how we met. I was not looking for her. Actually, she kind of shot her shot, but I really shot her shot. You know what I'm saying? Like I respect that. I respect that to a certain extent because I'm a pursuer. I like pursuing.
Yeah,
A
that's what I
woman
want
has
to ask.
to.
Is it worse when a
Woman,
woman shoots their shot?
nah.
Is it worse? Like, do y'all
Personally,
look at a woman like,
it
eh?
depends how. It depends how you shoot your shot, women. I personally don't like a woman that is too thirsty. I don't like that. A woman that's on me, I don't like that. That's my job. Let me take care of that. Let me
Renee?
pursue
No,
you.
I'm
Let
just
me put the
kidding.
work. I don't know. It's something about like the
Not.
most difficult. As hard as you put it, the harder you put it for me, the more I want it. I don't know what it is about it. Back me up, Mike, if I'm lying.
Hey,
But
that's
the
true.
real,
I feel like when somebody come at you too much, it's scary. You know what I'm saying?
it is.
It's like
It
they
must be
want
you
it too bad.
desperate.
Like
You
make
scared of being
you.
lonely.
make me
Yeah, I don't want to
do it
be with
even when
somebody
I
who's scared
got
of
it.
being lonely. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So the way that a woman has to shoot her shot is not simply pursuing a man intentionally in the sense like how a man does it, but she has to make sure that she lets the man know that she's available, that she wants him. And there's little things that you can do to let him know that, hey, I'm feeling you. It's little things. It's not a lot that you gotta do. And then when a man gets that green light, because a lot of times I think with us guys is that the last thing I'm gonna say to pass the mic, a lot of times we don't get that clarity to know if you're feeling us or not. So we're very scared to just go and jump. But if we get that clarity and the green light, you best believe if he's a real man, he's gonna go for it. That's what I did. I'm telling you.
If and then here's another question. How do people, like, we talk about couples getting together and what you should do for yourself. What happens if you thought you found the person that you were meant to be with for the rest of your life and they betrayed your trust and stepped out of the relationship? How are women and men or men supposed to get over that?
Men don't get over it. We're just gonna keep it real. I'll answer that for y'all. Men don't get over cheating, but we get over cheating. Let's just keep that real right there for just a second. Okay.
I feel like they do though.
I don't know, man.
They
I
just don't
I
show
really
it.
don't know.
They just don't show it.
I think they do, but I think it takes them a longer time to do so, just because it's something called the man ego, and it's there, and it's very, very tough to get over it. But I think that men actually do, because it just takes us a little longer.
And then it depends on if he was cheating too or not. It all depends, I feel like.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be inboxing y'all later. No, I'm just kidding. I got some questions.
Renee,
I got some questions, y'all. No, I'm just kidding.
Renee, you're muted. Or turn it up a little, or we're not
Just
hearing
talk
you.
loud, Renee. Pretend like you're at a family reunion because you're Latino. Everybody yells
Yeah, now
at
we can hear
Latino.
you.
Good. All right. So, Mike and Jefferson, let me ask you this. Is there, in your opinion, like a breaking point where, there's the divorce rate is high? We're seeing tons of divorces. We're seeing breakups, every other year, every other month, right? So, I mean, are we past up in forgetting things, soon? Where's the breaking point? Where is the level of disrespect or non-communication when you just pack up and are done?
I think it's when the vows are broke. The vows of the marriage are broke. Like you sign up for something and when you don't get it, I feel like in this generation they ready to move on. They know they know their worth, and with social media, people got so many options. It's like, okay, if this is not gonna work out, I can move on. So at that point, it's just like if you don't come with it all together, nowadays people on the way out because they got options now. Whereas back in the day, you know what I'm saying, it's no social media, people barely have phones, so it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to work it out with this person no matter what, and they feel like they didn't have a voice.
Well, I feel like
I actually have a
that's
question. I got a question about that. Like,
yeah, go ahead.
do you guys, when someone's breaking up, like you have people who contact you or whatever, because I'm sure y'all like get a ton of inboxes from women who are going through like tough situations, right? Why do you think that it is like, why do you think that it is that women try to hold on a little longer than guys do? Like, what do you feel that? Do you feel that women try to hold on a little longer than guys do? Because, I mean, just from like personal experiences for me, like I've been cheated on a lot, right? But I'm not a cheater. Like I just I can't go and like do people the way that they've done me type stuff. So I'm usually like, okay, well, when they cheat, then I'm gone. Like, cause I don't want to like do that tit for tat stuff. So when you have a woman who contacts you and she tells you that her man's cheated, do you automatically tell them like break up with him, or do you just give them advice to try to heal the situation within their own hearts?
It depends on the woman. I would ask you, do you want to get back with your ex? Do you think he's gonna change? Do you think it was an accident? You know what I'm saying? And if you don't want to get back with him, I don't feel like you should like stress the fact to go get back with him. But if you think he will change and you think you can work things out with him, I feel like you should try, because you know, if you love somebody, just because of their actions, that don't mean that they don't love you. It's just some people can't control they actions, no matter how hard they try. And sometimes you gotta leave them just because they can't control their actions. That don't mean they don't love you. It just means that they can't control their actions. So at that point, you just gotta ask yourself: is it worth going through that, or is it time to move on?
Yeah, because I don't think that we should justify just because a
Oh,
man can control. Listen, I don't think men, and this is hard because society has portrayed us like that, like we're these dogs that can't control our passions. I think that we have the power and the self-control to be able to control our decisions. Everybody does. Some people are a little more unstable than others. At that point, like Mike's saying, it's up to you. It's your judgment call if you think you want to stay. But a lot of women stay, I think, because of fear of being alone. It's an emotional fear. They don't want to be alone, especially when they get older. They have kids on the line. And sometimes they have this mentality that because they have kids or because they've invested this amount of time with this person, then this might help or this might hold this person longer. But it's something that you keep like fooling yourself. Loving somebody harder does not is not gonna make them change. A person decides to change. A person decides to be faithful to you. Everybody has a choice every single day in everything you do, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. It's a choice for you. I'm not invalidating that people go through certain things and it pushes them to make certain choices. And sometimes they're like, as a man, especially when you're really trying to be faithful, all these situations will arise and things will happen that it will just set. It's like a setup almost. So I think like a case by case situation where you have to treat it depending on the situation. But I wouldn't. When I advise women, I always go on the side of like, okay, are you afraid of leaving him because you're afraid of being alone, or you're just like now you're justifying his actions, or are you too attached to him where you lost yourself? Because that happens a lot when you're in a relationship. So it really
yeah.
depends on the case.
Jenny Johnson said, "How is cheating an accident?"
I think that's directed towards Mike. I think that one came up right when Mike was done talking.
I know, but
anything.
Jefferson, go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
I wouldn't say it's an accident, but I feel like people can't control their hormones at certain points, and we can all say men can control them, but until they get to that age to where they let the whole phase go, it's just like they feel like they got to get something out their system. If we talking the younger men, but if we talking about the older men, I feel like it wouldn't be an accident in that sense. They should know what's what.
How,
That's the difference between a man and a boy. That's what I'm going to say.
You're right about that though.
yes.
He's right about that.
How would you advise couples to work together to mend a broken relationship? If they both
So
wanted to, only if they both wanted to. I mean, if they didn't want to, but if they do want to, how would you advise them to help mend that hurt and that anger?
if it's
Communication
what I'm sorry, go ahead, my bad.
No, you go first. You go first.
So I'm very pro like marriage. So I'm the type of person that if we together, man, we working this out no matter what happens, come hell or high waters. I don't care. We working this out. We looking for like professional help, whatever we gotta do, work it out. As long as you in with me, I'm not giving up on you. Let's go. So if it's like a relationship without like you're not married to this person and they cheated on you and you really can't forgive them, don't try to convince yourself that you can't. Like you gotta sometimes like separate, get your time alone because you're not with this person. You're not committed to them. You're not married to them. You guys don't even live under the same household. You know what I mean? Like it really depends on that situation. If it's marriage, like he said, I'd say counseling, professional help helps a lot. Do different things. If it's really something you both want to work out, it'll eventually take time. You gotta come to the acceptance that you know what, it's gonna be messy, it's gonna be tough, it'll take time. But if y'all both want to do it, it can happen.
Okay. How about you, Mike?
When it comes to cheating, most of the time that people go back is because they feel like they can't get nobody else. They feel like they not as acceptable to the world. They feel weak. They just feel like they don't love themselves enough, because if somebody actually cheats on you, you're not really looking at what they're doing. They actually going to a person and they having sex with they having sex with this person. They letting this person, they giving something that they gave to you to another person. So I just feel like after that stage, the bond is broke. Like relationship, like once y'all have a connection and y'all done made an understanding where it's y'all two, no matter what, I feel like the goal is marriage after that. You can say we just dating, and you can say it's just a relationship, but the goal is marriage in the end. So if you can't get it right in this stage, I don't feel like we should go to the next stage. So I feel like when it comes to cheating,
That's right.
if women don't love themselves enough to say this is it, and they actually want to go back, they need to communicate. They need to go through counseling. They need to they need to know that he is really trying to change and not look at words and go off actions. Because a lot of people, they just go off words. A man can say, "Oh, I'm gonna change. I promise you, I'm gonna change. I love you. I'm gonna do everything different this time," and it's just words. There's no actions behind that. And the next week, he's doing the same thing, and you don't let it pass because you already accepted it. So at that point, you just gotta find that strength inside yourself and move on if you want to move on. But if you think is he gonna change, make sure he gonna change.
That has to be on the woman too. Like the woman has to come up with that. You're saying, like she has to be okay and not bring it up. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, for sure. So I have a question. So I hear a lot of people say like, well, he's single until he's married, or she's single until he's married. Do y'all agree with that? Why or why not?
I feel like a lot of people agree with that when they get hurt, because I've agreed to that when I was hurt at one point. Because it's like, oh yeah, I've got cheated on. I don't trust nobody. I'm single until I'm married. But I feel like when you get over the hurt and you just all love and you all peace, at that point it's like you trying to grow. And if it's just games, you don't got time for it. So at that point it's just like, I want a relationship. I want to work towards something. But if you with the games, it's like, oh yeah, I'm single until I'm married. For
What
me.
about people spending time with their
that's good.
someone? Can the person you're with, whether that's man or woman, go out and out
Your
with
mic breaking up.
Yeah,
Your mic's breaking
try
up.
logging in and then logging back out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about spending time with ex? What do you think, Mike and Jefferson? Like, if you're in a committed relationship with someone, should they be spending any time going places, doing things with exes?
It keep breaking up. The last part.
She's
She
asking.
said, I heard her. She
Okay.
said if you're in a relationship, should that person spend any time doing things or going places with exes?
No. Not exes.
Hell no.
No, I don't play that.
I don't play those games, man.
That's a vibe I never got with. That's a vibe I never got with.
Exactly. Like for real. Oh my
Dangerous.
See,
Reopening chapter and revisiting, dangerous.
visit stuff from the past, when you're in your current relationship. It's just bogus,
That's really just manipulation.
Absolutely.
Somebody telling the other person that they need to talk to their ex, or their ex is their best friend, or
But
something like that.
Absolutely.
I don't agree with that though.
Okay.
I really don't agree with that, because I am very good friends with some of my exes, and it's nothing more than just a friendship.
But how long were you with them? Was it a serious relationship? Could it have been marriage, or was it just like, oh, we was together, it didn't work out, now we friends?
No, one of them, it was supposed to be marriage and it didn't work out.
So when you talk to him, you have an emotional bond with him without you even knowing. Some type of thing is emotionally attached to him. So without you even knowing, you won't have that emotional attachment with your new man, because something your ex still has that nobody else can have. That friendship, whatever.
No, because
I don't work in that aspect.
I don't have any emotional attachment to him at all, other than a friendship. We were very good friends before we got together. It didn't work out, and we didn't speak for years. And then we happened to stumble upon each other and just started talking as friends, and nothing more than, like, there is nothing there for relationship wise. It's either one of us.
So do y'all hang out, or do y'all just like talk from here and there?
Here and there. But if we were to hang out, I don't think it would be a big problem. Like,
have you ever hanged out with him or no?
Once or
After like the
twice.
fact that you guys broke up.
Once or
Melissa's in the
twice.
hot seat. I'm like,
Yeah, once or twice.
But I feel like she's asking the question as in, can you and your ex be friends? Like talk on the regular, like hang out. Like you just making it seem like y'all just talk from here and there. Like when y'all
Right.
chat, like, oh, we're friends, we're cool, we don't have no bad vibes. But I feel like she talking
Yeah,
about
there's no
like
beef.
friends,
Yeah.
like we're close friends, hang out, go get dinner together, stuff like that.
Yeah, there is a big difference. I agree. I feel like I can't say like I'm 100% secure woman because I feel like after being in a relationship or two, you have some insecurities that will always kind of be there. You know what I mean? Your man can make you feel 100% secure, but I just feel like what is your ex providing as a friendship that you have to go hang out with them that I'm not providing? That I'm not providing because then I'm not
Yeah.
providing that 100% how I should be because truth be told, like then there's something else that's missing that I'm not giving you.
Unless it's
But
just
also,
like a friendship when y'all see each other, y'all say hey and chat from time to time. But
That's
a
different.
close
yeah,
friendship,
you
no.
Yeah.
being civilized is one thing.
Yeah.
Like you can be civil with that person,
Yeah, how
but
are you?
Yeah, but best friends, no.
I mean, I've
not
had
even
situations
close
like
friends,
that, but
man.
like
Mm-mm.
honestly, I just haven't had like we could. That would be fine, but I don't have the time for that right now. Like I don't even talk to my best friend as often as I talk to like Elaine, and the reason Elaine and I have become good friends and talk all the time is because of the show. But like my best friend since like I was 16 years old, I don't get to talk to as much as I would like because I'm busy with my kids and I'm busy
Yeah.
with the show. But if I did have that time, I would have no problem. And I would have no problem with my significant other hanging out with their ex on a friendship basis without me there because it's a friendship.
Girl,
It's
you're
not never
different
not
than
gonna
You
be.
me.
entered
No,
a different type
I'm
of
pulling
trust.
up. I'm sorry. I am pulling up. Like, where are we going? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you entered a different type of trust that I ain't never seen before.
Mm.
Maybe it's
I do want to ask a question though, since we're speaking about like the trust factor. How like for guys, right? I notice this more for guys than women. Y'all like when y'all go through your whole phase or whatever, like or whatever it is, like y'all are just young, you're young men, you're living life, whatever. You see a lot of promiscuous women, right? You see like the down nitty gritty, dirty stuff that women do, like cheating, having side dudes, maybe some of y'all was side dudes at one point, like just all of that stuff, right? How do you separate that when you meet somebody that you, because I see a lot of men who will like hold on to it, like, hold on, man, like I used to run the streets, bitches was doing this, excuse my language, chicks was doing this, they were doing that, like, and they have trust issues going into relationships right away because of some of the stuff that they've lived through. So how do you separate that when you go
I'm gonna let him
into a
answer.
relationship?
Okay,
Hey, and
wait,
Joe,
can I
hold
just
on,
say
wait,
one
and
thing? I want to
Jefferson,
say one thing. I really, really don't like the fact that we talk about men going through a whole phase like it's okay, but then women want to do the same thing, and because they have a vagina and not a penis, it's not okay. That's bullshit. Like,
I'm sorry, I agree with that though, Melissa, because women, it's a women, we're supposed to be like a sacred temple though.
so
Like
are men. Fuck that.
but a man enters a woman don't enter a man. I feel like it's a
So
huge difference. I just feel
they
like it's a
let a
huge
man
difference.
enter them. Like, it's
But
no different
but
because one
men
has a
can be
pole and the other
hoes.
has a hole.
I don't know. I disagree because a man don't want to be in a room with a woman and a whole bunch of dudes that she done ran through. Yet you can be in a room with your man and he could be like, man, girl, that girl was a hoe. I fucked her. Like she was a hoe too. She wasn't shit. Like it's a whole different perspective. I have to say that I completely disagree with that. I feel like it's a different perspective. Men hold a different kind of feeling than women do.
No, I think that's part of the problem
I
with
agree with
society.
I agree with Missy. I feel like both bodies are a temple. It's just people got something inside them where they feel like they got to get something out of them. like men or women. I don't feel like nobody should be judged because women have the whole phases, men have the whole phases. It's just women probably don't tell about it. They more secretive about it. But I know for a fact women have whole phases. Like I've met a lot of women that go
that's
through that
fact,
phase.
bro.
They just don't.
Oh, I
speak
won't
about it.
lie, I did.
Yeah, I feel like every human being goes through it. Like a lot of people are so nonchalant to the real world, but people go through a lot of things, they just don't speak on it. Like a lot of us, we probably do things that we're not proud of. That's why I never want nobody to think that I'm perfect off my videos, because everybody hurt people because at one point they were hurt. So people just gonna do stuff based off of people. I don't feel like
So,
nobody should be more subject to
so
nobody.
Mike, would you date a woman who had a higher body count?
Like what's a high body count?
I mean,
Man.
what's high to you? Like, what? What's high to you? Because like you sit down, you have them conversations with your girl, and
You don't ever
say
tell
she comes-
your partner if you're
That
going
conversation
into a
comes up at a
relationship.
certain point. It's gonna come up.
It always comes up. At some point,
will.
they
Yeah,
always want to know.
that conversation will come up. I don't really feel like I can trust somebody with a high body count. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's
I
my
personally
point. Is
can.
that that
But
is my
what's-
point right
what's
there.
high, though?
It might
But
it
what's
might
high
be
to you?
even. What's high to me? I feel like if you pass in both hands as a woman, like depending on your age, right? Like let's say I'm serious, like I'm for real legit serious. You know what? And if y'all watching me,
I don't
here,
think 10 for a woman in this generation is high. I think that's like average for this generation.
You talking about this generation? Listen up. You
But I'm
talk
speaking
about
on
this
the
generation.
that I stay in. The states that I stay in, I'm gonna be real. 10 is okay for a woman in this generation that I stay in. I don't know about y'all, but 10, women sleep with men. I'm gonna just say that. Like I know.
oh yeah, they get around. I get it. But I'm saying like you agree with Missy, but at some point though, when you're ready to settle down, you're gonna make sure that it ain't gonna be that chick that's got that higher body count, because you're gonna be
I
like,
can't really say that if I got a high body count, because I'm judging her and I'm telling her not to judge me. So I agree
Exactly.
with her in that sense, because both bodies are a temple. How can I look at her and say I don't want you to have a high body count, but I got a high body count? That's like that's
And-
really kind of stupid. At
And
that point.
really,
Yeah,
honestly,
you can't.
okay, for as much therapy as I have had in my life, when I have gone to couples therapy with my husband and we discussed that whole, like, your sex number, number one, what happened before you were with that person has nothing to do with that relationship. If you
what
are
if
going
you was
to be
being
committed-
bust down and you was doing threesomes on a regular before you met your husband, and then that came out in therapy? You're gonna tell me he won't have a problem with that? Like, oh my God, man!
if
like,
he
this
loved
girl
me, he should love who I am. And
It's
if
the
he
ego,
knows,
and the man ego gets in
And
the
if
way.
he-
He don't have a problem with that.
And I
And
would
if-
say
That's what I'm
of course,
saying,
he
though.
gonna have problems. And guess what he gonna do? He gonna ask you what happened, how did it happen, did you like it, did you not like it, was it big? You're gonna ask these questions because it makes
Yeah,
your
who
ego.
was it?
Don't
I
be
wanna
telling
know
me
who
you
it
know.
was now. Like the
Hell
ego of
Why?
a
yeah, how
man,
he look?
he will get out of control with it. That's why
It's
you got
true.
some things you got to take to your grave.
Something,
Right.
yes.
and why,
Man,
like,
I'm
but I'm
telling you.
saying, like, if you have that relationship with somebody, if you have that trust that you're with that person, and you shouldn't even be talking about who you were with before you were with that
All right,
person.
so
You should be
But I
talking
let me
about
say this.
who you were.
I think the problem is this. There's a lot of taboo. There's a lot of stuff that happens when you're young as a boy, as a man. At least the way I was raised, I'm a macho alpha. I gotta get every single body count I can get on my way. I gotta do it. That's what represents me and says that I'm a man. A lot of things happen in between. If you have like a father figure, or if you have that one person, and you were raised like in a culture of like that is very macho alpha type of culture. And like you're saying, Missy, is true. Like it shouldn't matter at that point. However, as men, we discuss certain things, and certain things do matter to us, even if it's insignificant to you. Such as like, men will sit down and talk about how many body counts you have. That have you hit this person, and I'm about to hit you. Like it's like a game. Like we just passing this ball around, and it's like something that a lot of men are pride of. I'm not that person though. I can proudly say I'm not that person. But it's something that men take pride on. And I feel like that's something we battle with because it has to do with our pride and our ego as men. And although it's something that happened in the past, only a mature, real man will be okay with it. But a
Thank you.
regular
And that's
man
all
like
that
us,
counts.
man, we will feel like sometimes it's like a competition. Sometimes it's like an ego type of thing. Like okay, like can I do it better? Do you feel satisfied? Then we question whether we're performing good or not. It happens. It's normal. So it's like Mike is saying, some things you really don't have to take with you to the graveyard because it's something that's gonna be in the back of my head the whole entire
Yeah. I'm gonna
time.
tell
And
you right now, if you tell a man that and y'all go to therapy and everything can be 100% perfect in therapy, like yeah, I had threesomes back in my old relationships, we did this, we did that, but when he snaps back into reality, it's gonna be like, wait, you did what? And it's gonna be like, who was it? Why you do that? Can I ask this question? Because the ego gonna get into the play regardless. I feel like a lot of people are mature and they think outside the box and they
You
do
ain't never
things.
done that with me.
Yeah, a level head, but it's like, okay, I'm level all day, but tomorrow I'm finna ask, like, why did you have a threesome? Like, what was you thinking at that point? Because that's how I feel like most men are, because they gonna sit around and they gonna probably tell their friends, like, yeah, she did this, that, the third, and they gonna be like, dang, she really did that. But I don't know if all men think like that. I just know a lot of people do.
I think that if somebody loves you and truly loves you and wants to be with you, how do you know that that girl didn't have, you know, a past that made her act like that, and now she's healthy? So, or even if she just wanted to, fuck, it's the, you know, what are we, the 1950s where the girls
Okay,
have to sit and,
can I ask you a question?
yeah,
All right, if you was dealing with a guy for 5 years, right?
yeah,
And y'all was everything was perfect, this, that, the third. No, not 5 years, maybe a year. Everything was perfect. Y'all was thinking about getting married after a year. He
mm-hmm.
told you he had AIDS after when y'all was finna get married. What would you say?
That he had AIDS.
Yeah, he
I
had
mean,
exactly. He
if
had
I
his way
loved,
before you. He is in control. He taking his medicine for it, but he got HIV.
I would be with him. I wouldn't leave him because of a mistake in his past, and I would work with him if I loved that person.
Well,
I would. That would not bother. That would not stop me from loving them any less because
and
I already
a
love
lot
them.
of people see a lot of people don't think like that, and the generation should think like that, and they need to think like that. But a lot of people in the real world don't think like that, and they will say they do just out in public, but in reality, in the real world, they don't.
I
No,
couldn't.
when
I'll
shit
be
hits the
honest with
fan,
you.
no.
Like, I couldn't at all. Like, if somebody waited a whole year to tell me that they had AIDS, I would feel like you waited a year too long to tell me. Maybe if you had been honest in the beginning, we could have figured out a way to work around it. But I feel like that's a big lie and a big elephant in the room for a long time.
And
I
that's
don't know.
the
I just feel like this generation is too quick to give up. Like that's what I'm saying. Like and
I
people
do
don't want to
agree with
work
that.
things
This
out.
generation sucks.
Yeah, this generation don't want to work things out anymore. They don't want to talk things out. People don't
Because
want to think
social
through.
media.
And it's just like that instant gratification. I have so many options, and the people don't want to make choices anymore because they have so much. It's like, why do I gotta like? But that comes with your values. Like you got to be faithful to your values and standards, and it takes a lot from a person to do that. And unfortunately, we don't have that in this generation. That's why it's scary dating in this generation. It's scary going out there and trying to find somebody because you're trying to do right by this person, but they in the back of their head saying like, I'm talking to you and 70 other people. That's not fun. That's like that don't fly like that.
yeah,
I guess. Go ahead, Renee.
just intercourse is just so free. I mean, I anybody I've ever had, all my ex can say this right when I'm online. They had to come with papers. My men come with papers. If you want to sleep with me, I got to see you're HIV negative, hepatitis C negative, syphilis, gonorrhea. It's all got to be negative. Like for real. I mean,
I respect that.
$100 to come
See,
to.
I respect that, but a lot of women nowadays don't think like that.
I do because I guess I see in healthcare.
I was the same way. No lie.
In today's world, sex is easier to get than a kiss.
It's sad as hell. That's a sad reality.
Like somebody would rather have sex with you with a condom on than kiss you in the mouth.
That's very, very sad. Very sad. The
Yeah, it's
intimacy.
because sex is no longer intimacy is no longer a thing. That's no longer a thing. Like
Really
it's just
What
like let
about
me try it.
sexless relationships? What do you guys feel about that?
What is
What
it?
you say?
sexless relationships. What about people who have just been together for a long time or married for a long time or not married and just together and they lose the intimacy? What do you think about that? Do you think that that woman or man is cheating?
Me
Necessarily.
personally, I probably would, because I feel like sex is needed in a relation, in a marriage. Well, me personally, I don't know about everybody else though.
I don't think necessarily that person like lost the interest 100% in that person, or if they're cheating. I think a lot of times it's like, I'm gonna speak as a man from my previous experience, right? I think that what we do a lot of times when it comes to sex, we get too comfortable, and so since we get too comfortable and we think we still got it, we get to a point where we don't try things new, and women are different to satisfy the sex realm, and then men number one, we're always ready. We can take care of ourselves real quick. We ain't even to be creative. We don't need to be creative. It's easy for us to like finish real quick. But when it comes to a woman, you have to have a connection with her when it comes to sex. It's not simply like just sex. You know what I mean? Like that's why a lot of times women will be completely unsatisfied, and a man is not. And a man is good. He's knocked out, but she's not there. And I think that's how you start losing your women, or that interest when it comes to sex, especially when you start feeling like you're just an object for him to satisfy himself. I feel like sex is something where we both got to look for each other interest to be able to please each other out. That's just my thought process behind that.
Okay, so let me ask this. Have you guys ever cheated in a relationship?
Whoa.
Yes.
I haven't.
Yes.
I can probably say I've been cheated on a lot, but I haven't.
You've never cheated.
I've been cheated on. I've never cheated. I could probably say that. It's been hard as
And
hell,
Mike,
but I've never done it.
you've cheated.
Yes.
Renee, how about
So
you? Have you cheated in a relationship?
No, I've been cheated on. More
I've 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 had both. I've cheated and I have been cheated on.
no, I can proudly say that too. I'm
Because
proud
I'm
of
a
that.
horrible liar. I'm a horrible liar, man. You gonna see it right through my eyes.
I don't know. I guess my question for that is like, do you think that a man knows that you're like relationship material right away in the beginning?
Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
100%.
I-
I feel like a man knows exactly how he's finna treat you as soon as he meets you. Is either he gonna treat you like he wants you, take you out, get to know you, really put his time into it, or he gonna treat you like an option, somebody that he can use when he needs it. And I feel like
Yep.
every man, as soon as he see you, he know exactly what he finna do. And he'll tell you he'll tell both girls the
That's
same thing, but
100%
he'll
true.
mean it to only one of them.
Okay, let me ask you this because I've always been the type to be like in long-term relationships, but never get a ring. And then, but I'm always like the faithful. Like I'm
Oh,
like the homebody. Like I'm like, I'll sit there. Like watch sports with you, kick it with you. You go out, you have a good time. If I rarely go out, but if from time to time, that type of person. But it's almost like those type of people never get wifed up versus like all of a sudden, like for instance, my cousin, she just met this man and they got into this relationship and they got married like 3 months later. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of motherfucking shit? So it's just crazy because it's like some people will get a ring right away and then other people just don't. So I guess like what is y'all's thoughts about that? Like, do men just enjoy to reap benefits and then not want to put the full commitment on it? Or like what is that?
I feel like real men don't just reap out benefits. Real men put in the work and they're intentional about when they're with you. The problem is like these men that are literally boys in their mindsets and they're scared of commitment, like I said previously. A lot of men are not ready to make that jump. And sometimes it could be because they were hurt in the past or they just are scared of making this commitment, which they know is going to cost a lot. It's going to cost for them to refuse and quit to a lot of things to be with a certain person. I'd say also don't be deceived by what you see when you see something like, wow. And I know what you mean because I've been there. It's like, damn, like I'm doing everything right, like, but it's not happening to me. And then I see this other person and instantly it happens to them. I'd say you have to make sure you stay faithful to your values and standards. And when the right person is gonna come, the one is gonna commit to you, he's gonna come and it's gonna happen. You don't have to force it. I feel like a lot of times the problem is that we just want to force this so much, and then it becomes to a point where you just like you become a little like scared, and so therefore like I think like you might do too much and you might lose the man in the process. A real man is intentional. That's what I want to say. It's not all of them are real, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely.
That's a different kind of question. So let me just ask this really quick.
Wait, let
Do
me
y'all
answer your
get
question. Let me answer
okay?
your question based on you, because I feel like I can read people, so I'm just gonna base. So don't think I'm being rude or nothing. I feel like you're too nice. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you believe too easily. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You say, oh, I'm good to my man. I don't cheat. I do this, that, and the third. And I feel like a lot of people can get over on you. That's why they don't. I don't feel like you've required a ring. Like you say, your cousin probably just got married or whatever. She probably is like herself, regardless, no matter what. It's like I'm not saying this is you, but it's like a lot of women they accept anything. Like, oh, I got a relationship. I want a marriage. So just let me put up with anything. I don't want to say nothing out the way. I don't want to do nothing too bad. I don't want to go out the way. And it's like they letting somebody get over on them. So it's like, why give her a ring if I can do everything I want to do right now? It's
Yes,
like
sir.
she's giving me everything. So why should I have to give her a ring? And you keep saying like I'm getting in all these long-term relationships, but nobody giving me a ring. Like Steve Harvey said, you're not requiring it. You've given people everything, and you've given them your whole self, and just and hoping that they just love you how you loving them. So it's like that's where the disconnect at. You got to like give yourself like, oh, I'm really that. I deserve this. Like if you're not gonna give me this, I'm not gonna keep giving you everything you want. And then like the communication to start right there. You just got to be strong and know what you want and know what you coming with. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to say
That's
that.
actually no, it's really funny because like you really hit the nail on the head because everybody always tells me that I'm too nice. It's not that I try to be too nice. Like it's not like trying to be like a people pleaser. It's just like you have people who are like just, I mean, I guess like they require more and me, I'm just like really laid back. I'm really laid
I
back. I'm
speak about
easygoing.
people like you. People with good hearts that don't know how to say no.
Don't do me like that on live, Mike.
No, like people with good hearts that don't know how to say no. It's a lot of us like that. Like people with just like they got too good of a heart. They don't know how to say no to people. They don't know how to look at something for what it is. They let people get over on them because they love them. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody can tell you something, you know they lying, but oh, I love him. So just let me believe it because I know he's not gonna hurt me because I would never hurt him. And that's where the disconnect come in at. You got to look at people for what they really showing you.
That's just what I told my friend today,
Yeah.
Mike. I'm 44 years old now, and I will never give this strong of a love and not get in return. I would rather die alone. I would rather die alone than give all my love and not get nothing back. Period.
But wait,
Okay.
Renee, I do have to say this though. Like I'm not afraid to be alone. Like there was a point in time, Mike, where I was afraid. Jefferson, I was afraid. I was definitely afraid to be alone. But I had spent a lot of time alone that I actually enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Like I actually enjoyed the peace and the being able to just be myself. I do, however, think that you're right. Like sometimes I think I'm too nice. Is that a bad thing though? Is it a bad thing to be too nice?
No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's like it depends who you give it to. Because I'm the type of person too.
Thank you, boo.
I just want to do nice, so I know exactly how you feel. I think it depends who you give this, who you're nice to, and I think this is a problem that you might have, that I have too. And my mom told me she hit me hard with it. Sometimes we're just too quick to give so much of ourselves in a relationship because we're just like full of all of this, and as soon as you meet them and you do it all, you have to learn how to ease on a little bit at a time, like one step at a time. We just go all in, and like he said, if I have it all, then why would I even bother trying hard? Why would I, as a man, that's what we do. Like as soon as I see it, if I have it all, why would I even? That's why I don't like personally a woman that is on my ass and chasing me, and like let me do the work, let me get, and that's how show me how much.
What if your partner
Go ahead.
or the person that you're with has like a time limit? Like I have always been one of those people where if I'm with somebody, I have a time limit, whether you can choose to be with just me. Otherwise, I'm moving on. I'm not wasting my time. You have so many time to tell me you want to marry me. And I'm not telling you my number because it's just my personal number. That if you want to marry me, if we're together, there's a certain period of time. If you don't know you want to marry me yet, or you haven't asked me, I'm gone.
I'm glad you created that time limit, because if you don't, people will manipulate you into saying they're gonna marry you and never do. So it's good to have a time limit, because a lot of people need a time limit, because a lot of men will keep saying, I'm gonna marry you, and then the next year they're gonna say, I'm gonna marry you next year, and the next year they're gonna say, I'm gonna marry you next year, and it's gonna keep going on. So you better have a time limit, I feel like, or get out of there, because it's just a show to them. It's just a game at that point. They're not taking you serious. They're not taking the relationship serious.
How long do you think is too long to date before you get married? Like you're at the point where you're like, nope, marriage ain't ever gonna happen.
I think it depends on your lifestyle, like where you're at as a person. Like there's a like if you're a person like you're, let's say it depends on your age, depending what your requirements are. Like what do you want? If you're a whole mom, you have kids and everything, you're not gonna be playing these games. That's not how it works. Like you know what I mean? Like you already know the game as far as you're not here to just figure things out. You know exactly what you want. I think it's very important to know what you want, what you bring to the table. Not only what you want, but what you bring to the table, and that way you don't settle into just whatever. You have a specific timeline. You don't like Missy says, you don't come in and you say, well, you know what, this is the timeline and we need it to happen as quick as possible. And you have these months. No, but you come more with, listen, this is who I am, this is what I bring to the table, I know this is who you are, and then you have a vision and a plan to it. Like I feel like real mature people have like visions when they come to like agreement, because marriage and relationship is all agreement. So it's not like you come and say, well, you know, like I talk to my girl, she's long distance, I'm in Massachusetts, she all the way in Washington, but we have an agreement. We come together. I spoke to her. I'm in this place in life. You're in this place in life. What do you think we should do? You come to an agreement, and it's not something that you're like paying attention to, like writing it down, like oh we passed a date. But you're intentional about dating. You're intentional about being with that person. So it all depends on your personal lifestyle, I'd say.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
It's gonna sound a little weird, but I feel like when it comes to dating, adults can learn from kids. Because you know how like when you're in high school, everything is just natural. You don't really care about what a person got. You don't really care about what they do. You just want to like them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we become adults, it's like we got a title now. This person got to have this. This person got to have this. I want this person to do this. It's a time limit. It's a tip. I'm putting a time limit on everything now. It takes away from liking somebody. So everything got to be in control. Like people want to say, women always want to say like, I know I deserve this type of man, or men want to say, I know I deserve this type of woman. And it's like you taking the spark out of liking the person. So that's why a lot of marriages fail, because it's like two people that get together and they like, oh, I want a man that's successful, got his own business, doing this at a third, and they get him, and then he's like, I want a successful woman, and they get it. And it's like they don't even like each other, so they just putting up with each other at this point because they taken away from liking each other. That's why I feel like we can learn from children, because children, they have to like each other. And then you know when you got childhood love, it's like oh my gosh, I love this person no matter what. I want to spend my life with this person. I give up my whole life for this person because it's real love. I like this person. I fell in love with him naturally. I didn't put no time limit on it. I didn't put no date on it. I didn't put nothing on it. It was just natural. But when we become adults, it's like, oh, let's put a time limit on everything, and that's where the disconnect, I feel like, comes in there.
That's good.
I agree. Yeah, no, that actually makes a lot of sense. It really does. Would you guys, would you say that you put time limits on things also? Like if you don't feel like that connection with that person, then you kind of put a time limit on it also? Or do you as men know right away, like even after the first or second date, like, no, you know, this is where I'm gonna leave it?
Me personally, I feel like I know.
I personally know. Like I know right away if I'm in it or not.
Now we've talked a lot tonight about relationships, and this is going to have to be one of our last topics to discuss. What about people that just don't want to get married but want to be in a relationship together with the other person, and they don't feel the need that a piece of paper, you know, is going and walking down the aisle is going to be right for them?
I feel
I
like
think that's
that's
agreement
100%
too.
on them.
Yeah.
If they both have an understanding, that's what works for them. They shouldn't have to put a paper and a whole bunch of licenses on something that they know works for them.
Wait, I
Depends
actually
on the
have
people.
somebody who just inboxed me a question they said Jefferson. They want Jefferson to answer this one first. I'm sorry, she just
Okay.
inboxed me. But they want you to answer too, Mike, about moms, single moms. Like, do you like the stigma on a woman having children and dating? Do you think that that's a thing? Do you think it turns a lot of men away when women have children and like dating them?
Personally, that stigma doesn't apply to me. I've never been with like a mom. I wouldn't have minded if I wouldn't have been in relations. To be honest, not at all.
Don't
I
say it
really
like
wouldn't
that,
want to be with me.
Jefferson.
You know.
I've never been with a mom.
I don't know. Is that the way you should say? I don't even know. You see how inexperienced I am. But I personally think that stigmas is a sad thing. But there's a lot of stigmas in our society. I don't think that just because you have these qualifications, like you're a mom, you have kids, and more automatically becomes harder for you. I don't believe in that because obviously a lot of these people are able to get into healthy relationships and become successful in them. It happens a lot. However, there is unfortunately a stigma that if you have this weight, call your children, it unfortunately like puts you to the side. You're basically like a second option because we want them young. We don't want no commitment. But I personally like my mom came to the relationship with my stepdad with 2 kids. It's possible. There are actually good men that wouldn't mind you coming with kids. It wouldn't be a weight instead of that. There is a stigma, unfortunately, because we can't ignore it because society is going to happen. However, there is the other stigma about a male. She said it right there. That's all I'm gonna say. I like me an experienced woman too. I don't mind it, but
What about you,
it all
Mike?
depends on
What do
men.
you feel about single moms? I have a few bad moms that actually just inboxed me the same question.
I feel like the real answer is like if a man likes you, a baby is a blessing. So anything that you create, he should like because it's a part of you. That's how I feel about the whole situation.
I like
overall,
that
because,
answer.
yeah.
Trying to get brownie
'Cause-
points over there.
No, because I
You're
have
trying way
friends.
too hard.
Don't be trying to get a brownie point. No, I'm just kidding.
I have friends that said they would never date a woman with kids because they don't have kids. And I thought it was just the age thing, but they're young too. So it got to the point where it's like he started liking a girl and he couldn't like ignore the fact that she had a kid. So he started liking the kid because he naturally bonded with both of them. That's why I feel like if a guy likes you, he will like what you create no matter what. At first, it's gonna look like it's extra, but once he gets to know you and know everything about you, it's like he gonna like both situations. That's how I feel about it.
All right. Well, I do want to ask you guys if you can stay on as soon as we cut the live for just a second. But Missy and Life Uncensored and me, Lovely Lane with Let's Talk, and Renee with Real Talk, we actually had an awesome time interviewing y'all. I hope that y'all had fun and it wasn't like too crazy, uncomfortable, or momish. Since none of y'all have kids, I don't want y'all to feel like, man, this was like a mom podcast. Like, no, okay. This was not, but yeah, we definitely had a good time doing this. We just want to thank all of our viewers from all 3 different pages, as well as y'all for just coming on here. And make sure y'all go like Life Uncensored, Let's Talk, and Renee actually has a group called the Good News Group, and it's a lot of positivity in there on Facebook. So make sure y'all check her out. And then for all the viewers, make sure y'all give them a huge round of applause. I'm sorry. Go like Mike's Instagram as well as his YouTube and TikTok, and as well as Jefferson's TikTok. Go like his TikTok. I'm pretty sure you can find all of them on Instagram also. But yeah, definitely show some love to them, reshare their stuff. And if you don't, I will anyway. So everybody have a great night from all of us.
Have a great
Bye.
Bye.
If y'all just stay on for 1 second, she's gonna end